Hello, my name is Aubrey Cheadle. I am currently the Drama Department Director here at Minneota High School. I've been here the last 3 or 4 years, directing the last 3 musicals and 2 plays, and we will be starting up with another musical here shortly in the next week or so. I attended Minneota High School as a student myself, so for 6 years I spent a lot of time here on this stage as an actor and performer myself, so I've gotten to kind of see both sides of the drama department here. Over the past couple years, we have seen a great improvement in student involvement and the number of students that we've had in shows and things that we've been able to do with our shows. Both of the last 2 musicals that we've had pre-COVID, we had about 50 to 60 students involved, including both the actors on stage as well as the tech crew doing lights, sound, stage crew, orchestra, etc. So we've really seen a lot of growth in the program, and it's been really exciting to see all of the different students getting involved and the ways that they've really learned a lot and grown as we've continued to grow the program. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about our current stage. As you can see, that's where I'm standing right now. I just want to give you a little bit of some inside baseball as far as what we've got going on here backstage that maybe you don't see when you come to see a show, and some of the ways that our theater program could really be improved in a newer, more functional space. The first and probably biggest issue that we have at this time is having a stage in the gym creates a lot of scheduling issues. As you know, the competition gym is used for all kinds of different events, from fine arts on the stage to fine arts like band and choir, concerts on the floor, sporting events, Phi-Ed during the day. Everything from prom to banquets is all kind of taking place in this one space. So what that means is that a lot of times we're not really able to be up on the stage rehearsing until the last week or 2 before the show, which, as you can imagine, creates a little bit of issue as we're trying to quickly adapt and get everything together last minute. Along with sharing this space with the gym, it creates a lot of issues for us as far as lights and sound. So as it is now, our lights hang up on the rafters in the gym. We don't have an actual light bar, and because sporting events are taking place in here, Phi-Ed, things like that, and we have balls kind of flying around, we can't leave our expensive lighting equipment up on the bar lest it should be hit by a ball and damaged. So because of that, we have to put the lights up the week of the show, every show, which involves getting a lift out, hanging them up there, wiring the entire thing, and kind of starting from scratch every time. Because we can't leave the lights up, we aren't able to really work on lighting design until the week of the show, which can just get a little bit hairy as we're trying to kind of work out some of those details. On a similar note, our sound quality in the gym is not great. If you've ever been to a show here at Minneota High School, you've probably noticed that the acoustics in a gym are not really great for theater. We do the best that we can, and we've put on some great shows in spite of it, but it really could be a lot better. Along with that, similar to the lighting issue, we can't leave our soundboard out because obviously the gym is being used for other things, and we don't want anybody messing with the board if we leave it anywhere unlocked. So that means that, again, we don't get to really start using microphones and training kids to use the soundboard until dress rehearsals, which does lead to some sound issues, as you might have noticed in the past, just because we're kind of trying to throw it all together last minute. In the proposed addition to the school, we would have a cafetorium, which is basically a combination of a cafeteria and an auditorium. So what that would mean is we could do things like leave the lights up on the bar all the time because we wouldn't have things flying around. We could also potentially have a sound booth in the back where we could have our lighting equipment, our soundboard that just stay set up and locked so that we could come into a rehearsal and not have to come an hour early to haul the soundboard out and get everything hooked up. It would just be ready to go, which means that we could use it more and students could get more familiar with the soundboard and have more time to practice using it. Additionally, backstage, some of the things that maybe you don't see is, along with pretty much everywhere else in the school, we have an extreme lack of storage. Our prop room is used for all of our props, all of our costumes, and it's very small. And it's also sometimes having to be shared with other areas in the school. So in our new addition, we would have a prop room and costume room that would be a little bit bigger, a little bit more functional, something that's really made for storing costumes and props, and we'd be able to keep more of that on hand instead of having to search for props and costumes at the beginning of every show. Another issue that we currently have is that we don't actually have a changing room or changing rooms for our actors, and we don't have a green room, which is typically the room where actors will kind of hang out backstage when they're not on stage. So we've been having to kind of use classrooms, use makeshift dressing room areas in those classrooms, which obviously is far from ideal. In the new addition, we would have a green room and changing rooms, including bathrooms for both boys and girls, and we would have a hallway right behind the stage for quick changes from one side of the stage to the other. As it is now, behind us there are two entire classrooms, so if a student needs to cross the stage quickly, they either have to sprint down the hall around the two classrooms, which can take a little longer than we like, or they have to try and tiptoe kind of behind the curtain. So either way is really not ideal. The new proposed stage would also be handicap accessible, which is a major issue that we have right now. As it is, if we were to have a student who would need handicap accessibility, we would kind of run into some major issues as far as making it appropriate for them and accessible to them to get up and down the stage. We don't have a ramp, we only have two little sets of stairs, and I don't think they're even wide enough to put a ramp on them as it is to meet requirements. So that would be a huge thing that we could improve as well. With a new cafetorium space and a new stage to use, it would also give us opportunities to use that space, and not only for our play and our musical, which happens about 2 weekends a year, but we could also use it for other activities throughout the year, such as band and choir concerts, various musical performances like talent shows, things like that, awards banquets, if there were any speakers to come, things like that. So it really could be kind of a multi-purpose area that we can use for a lot of different things without having to compete for scheduling with activities going on in the gym. Also, the new space would include pull-out seating that would be sloped and have nicer, comfier seats for our audience members. So rather than sitting on a flat gym floor in metal folding chairs, it would give them better view and also make it a lot comfier for our audience to come see our shows. Well, that about covers kind of what we've got going on here on the stage and what improvements we would be looking for in a new edition if it were to pass.